Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Bring the Thunder podcast. We got a really good one for you guys today. I'm actually going to let Joe take over here. He's got all of the essential topics that we're going to talk about here written down. So, Joe, let's hear it.
Yeah, so today's super exciting episode. I'm really amped for this. Kind of in honor of March Madness coming up, we're going to do a little thing with the NBA. We're going to take the Western Conference side, and we're going to predict the playoff bracket. Each of us will have our own different seeding, all of our projections, and who's going to make it to the finals. And disclaimer, we haven't talked to each other about who's going, so we're all finding out live here. So I'm going to kick it off. So my projected seeding, I'm going to have OKC staying at the first seed. Denver's going to slide into the 2 seed. I have the Lakers at the 3 seed, Memphis at the 4, Houston at the 5, Golden State at the 6, Dallas at the 7, the Clippers at 8, Minnesota at the 9, and Sacramento at the 10, because I don't really see anyone jumping Sacramento for 10. Phoenix is done. I'm going to get right into it. My play-in predictions here. We'll have the 7 and 8 seed, Dallas and the Clippers playing each other. I have Dallas taking that game. I just think they're a better team, fully healthy, that being said. So Dallas will slide into the 7 seed. For the 9-10, Minnesota-Sacramento, I have Minnesota beating Sacramento. I just think, again, Minnesota's a better team than Sacramento. I don't love the play-in. Sacramento shouldn't have a chance to be in the playoffs. And then for the battle for the 8 seed, it would be the Clippers and Minnesota, and I have the Clippers with James Harden and Kawhi taking down Minnesota to be the 8 seed. So that being said, we'll get into our first round matchups. Starting at 1 and 8, we got OKC and the Clippers. Real interesting series. I think OKC wins in 6. I think their defense will pretty much lock down anything that the Clippers try to throw at them. I also think that their depth, OKC's depth, will absolutely destroy the Clippers in this series. And James Harden will get the Clippers at least one game. So that's why I'm going to say 6. But, yeah, OKC in 6. Moving on, the 2 versus 7, Denver versus Dallas. Upset alert early. I got Dallas beating Denver in 6. I think Dallas with the multiple bigs with Lively, Gafford, and AD will give Jokic some problems on the offensive side and definitely on the defensive side because nobody's going to be able to guard AD on that team. I also think nobody could guard Kyrie on Denver. And I think Dallas's defense is pretty solid enough to where they should shut down mostly all the Denver role players besides Jokic. So I got Dallas in 6. Moving to the 3v6. This is my favorite first round matchup here. I got the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. Super sweet matchup now with Jimmy in Golden State and obviously Luka in LA. Unfortunately, I just have the Lakers beating them in 5. I think the Lakers role players dominate that series, talking Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, etc. For the Golden State Warriors, who guards Luka? Who guards LeBron? You know, you could put Jimmy on Luka, but then you put Draymond on LeBron. I don't think so. So I don't think that is going to end up too well for them. And yet again, like I said with Harden, I think Curry is good enough to get them one game, if not 2. But I think Curry will get them 1. So LA beats Golden State in 5. And then for our final first round matchup, we got Memphis and Houston in the 4-5 matchup. I would love to watch this series. I got Memphis winning in 7. I think Houston will battle to the end, especially at home because their home court advantage is getting up there to be top in the league right now. But I do think they'll come up short due to some youth and lack of talent. And then at the end of the day, Ja and Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson will probably just be too much. But have them battling to 7, so that'll be a good series. Moving on to the second round here. Starting at the top here, we got the number 1 seed, Oklahoma City, beating the number 4 seed, Memphis Grizzlies in 5. I think OKC is way too much for Memphis, depth and defensively wise. And I think this is going to be known as the Jalen Williams series, the J-Dub series. Earlier, a couple weeks ago, Dub destroyed Memphis on the road. I don't think they'll have an answer for him, and I think OKC would just be way too much for Memphis. So I have them taking them in 5. Second series in the second round, I have the number 7 Dallas Mavericks defeating the Los Angeles Lakers in 7 games. And I will explain why quickly. AD, Gafford, Lively versus Jackson Hayes. That's huge here. And not only that they have extreme size on them, Anthony Davis is one of the better players in the league when he's fully healthy. So that's not going to end up too well for the Lakers on the defensive side. I also don't think the Lakers have anybody who could guard Kyrie. That was shown the other night. They just played without all of the Dallas players being healthy. The Lakers won by 8, but Kyrie went nuts. They could try to put Reeves or Rui, or I don't think it works for any of them. Here, I would like to say LeBron's going to force a Game 7 if they lose the series, which I have them losing. But I think the chemistry between Luka, LeBron, and all the new guys, it's hard to trade midseason and make it to where you want to end up. You got to at least play a full season together and then see what happens. So, yeah, I got Dallas in 7 there. And that leads us right into the Western Conference Finals that I really would love to see. Oklahoma City versus number 7 Dallas Mavericks. I got OKC in 7, and I'll explain why here again. I think Dallas's bigs will continue to do some damage, like I've been projecting them to do throughout the whole playoff. But I have a major leap from Chet in this playoffs. I'm projecting a major leap. He's already shown that he's having that leap in the regular season, but he was very good for us in the playoffs last year, and I think it's only going to get better. The main reason I think OKC wins this series this year is because OKC has multiple go-to options down the stretch. And hear me out. When I say this, I mean it. It's Shea, it's Dub, and it's Aaron Wiggins, our 3rd best scorer. And I'm being so serious about that. Who does Dallas go to? Dallas goes to Kyrie, but what if we take Kyrie out of the game with all of our defensive guards? Are they just going to go to AD down the stretch? I've seen AD in the playoffs consistently irrelevant in fourth quarters. He's not a go-to guy. I think OKC takes it for that reason. I got OKC going to the finals. Okay, moving on. We're also going to be doing award winners here, season award winners. I'll go through these quickly, not much to say about them. MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think the race is done. Others think Jokic still has a say in it. I think Shai's got it. 6th man of the year, Peyton Pritchard, been absolutely lights out from 3. Great defense for Boston. That a main reason why they're still the 2nd seed in the East. Defensive player of the year, I think the NBA just sells out here and throws it to a big man. I think they're just going to throw it to Jaren Jackson Jr. after Wemby going down. Most improved player, this was a tough one for me. I wanted to say Norman Powell, but I went with Cade Cunningham solely for the reason that Norman Powell has been in the league for so damn long, and Cade this is his 4th season, and you could see the gap between stats and now that Detroit's already the 6th seed and possibly could climb higher. So I got to go with Cade. And then for coach of the year, I'm going to give it to Kenny Atkinson. I mean, bringing Cleveland to the 1 seed, which should probably end up. And, I mean, they're having a historic season, one of the best seasons for them all time. So, yeah, that's mine, guys.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Jax.
Awesome picks, but not very similar to mine at all. I got OKC 1 seed in the West, then Grizzlies, Nuggets, then Lakers, Rockets, 4th and 5th. 6th seed, I got T-Wolves. Then 7th seed, I got Clippers. 8th seed, I got Mavs. 9th seed, I got Warriors. And 10th seed, I got Kings. So going into the playoffs, play-in first. So I think the Mavs will beat the Clippers. Then the Kings will beat the Warriors. And the Clippers will beat the Kings. So going into the playoffs, you'll have OKC versus Mavs in the first round, which I'd love. And I think by then we're clicked. They're not. We're good. OKC in 6. Bread and butter. Done. Then, next first round is Lakers-Rockets. Lakers have that in 5. Rockets are good, just not enough playoff experience. That Luka, LeBron, there's not much stopping that. Sengun's not good at basketball at all, so I'm not worried about that. Nuggets T-Wolves, I have Nuggets in 7. I think that'll be a very, very close matchup. And then Grizzlies, Clippers. I got Clippers in 6, upsetting the Grizzlies and making it from the play-in to the second round. Second round matchups, I got OKC, Lakers. I think OKC will win in 6. Just no answers for all of us, and we can lock Luka down and then lock LeBron down, and then there's not much else to do. Then T-Wolves, Clippers, Nuggets, Clippers. I have Nuggets in 5. I think that's a pretty cruisy matchup for them. So that leaves OKC versus the Nuggets in the finals, and I think OKC takes it in 7. So, yeah, that's my playoffs. Their awards. I'll start with the Rookie of the Year. I think Stephon Castle will win that. And then DPOY is Dyson Daniels, in my opinion. I think he's just been insane, and I'm tired of Biggs winning the award, to be honest. So I'd love to see that. Let's see. 6th man, I'd go Malik Beasley. He's been insane this year, like 20-point games, second in threes, everything. Then Coach of the Year, JB Bickerstaff. I think the turnaround from going one of the worst teams in NBA history to 6th seed right now, I believe. I think that's really good. And then I'm missing Most Improved, which would be between Cade and Dyson Daniels, which I know Joey will be smiling about. But I think ultimately I'd give it to Dyson Daniels. I think that's what the award really represents, is getting a new opportunity and making the most of it. And he's definitely done that. And then MVP, I have no clue. As a Thunder fan, it's bad, but I'm leaning towards Jokic. I don't think. But then it could be anything. It just depends how the rest of the season pans out, really. But it's impossible to predict right now for me. I know some people think it's pretty obvious, but yeah, those are my predictions.
Gotcha. Sweet. All right, I'll get into mine. I want to start by saying, Joe, you and I have a shockingly similar layout here.
Of course we do. Of course we do.
Number 1, I got OKC. Number 2, I got the Nuggets. Number 3, I have the Lakers. Number 4, I have the Grizzlies. Number 5, I have the Rockets. This is where we switch. Number 6, I do have the Timberwolves. Number 7, I have the Warriors. 8, Clippers. 9, Mavericks. And 10, the Kings. So jumping into the plan here, we got the 7 seed Warriors versus the 8 seed Clippers. I think the Warriors take care of that fairly easily. I think this new Jimmy Butler Curry duo is really just going to take care of that team. Moving on next, we got the 9 seed Mavericks versus the 10 seed Kings. I think this is absolute just a murder. I mean, I think Mavericks handle this game so easily. But then we get the Mavericks versus the Clippers, which once again, I think the Mavericks handle this. I think this is just not the Clippers' year. It's just been too much. Even if they're healthy, they've not had enough time to build chemistry. So getting into the playoffs here, we have the 1 seed OKC going straight into the revenge game against the 8 seed Dallas Mavericks. Not going to lie, don't love seeing them in the first round. However, I still think we win in 6. I think it's a concerning series, but I think we step up. I think Shea steps up. I can see him averaging literally like 33, 34, 35 around that this season, this series, just absolutely taking this as a revenge game. But I think the player that stands out in the series to me is Chet. I think Chet understands what happened last year. I think he comes back and handles himself against the bigs, and I could see Hart making a big difference with the AD matchup as well, being able to help. So yeah, OKC in 6 there. Moving on, we've got the 2 seed Nuggets versus the 7 seed Warriors. This is a pretty easy matchup to me. I think Denver absolutely handles this. I got them winning in 5. I think the Warriors pick up 1. I mean, maybe 2. I could maybe see going to 6, but right now I got them in 5. I just think, I mean, you got Kevon Looney and Tracy Jackson Davis trying to guard Jokic. There's no shot. There's just no way. Moving on, we got the 3 seed Lakers versus the 6 seed Timberwolves. If you're a Timberwolves fan, this is one of the few matchups I think you do not want. I think the Lakers take care of this pretty easily. I feel good about the Lakers in this. However, that's not to say that the Wolves don't make it interesting, and it still forces game 6. So I got LA in 6, but I think it's a little more of a blowout than just in 6. Looks like. Then we got the Grizzlies and the Rockets. 4 seed Grizzlies, 5 seed Rockets. I think this is actually my biggest kind of lopsided matchup. I got Grizzlies winning in 4. I think they just sweep them. I think the Rockets are kind of frauds. I really am not afraid of them. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the butt at some point. That would really suck. But I think this Grizzlies team is really good. Jaren Jackson has shown that he can be a scorer this year. Desmond Bane is an incredible shooter, and you can't ever count John Morant out. And then the Zach Edey matchup as well. Zach Edey's size alone is going to make Sengun struggle. Sengun cannot play defense. I just don't see that series going well for them. Moving on to the next round, we got 1 seed OKC versus the 4 seed Memphis. OKC wins in 5. Joe said it great. They can't handle our depth. They can't handle our star power. It's not even a match. I could say in 4, but you can't always assume it's going to be in 4, so I'll give them one game. Maybe Ja pulls a 40 bomb out of nowhere. Who knows? Next game is the 2 seed Nuggets versus the 3 seed LA. This is a fun matchup. I would be really excited for this. And I'm going LA in 7. I think that the Lakers pull this game off. I would love to watch this matchup. While Denver has the best player, second best player, whatever. While they have Jokic, I could just see this Luka and LeBron duo only getting better. I mean, we saw what they did to Denver a couple nights ago, broke that huge streak that they'd been losing to them, and they, quite frankly, they kicked their butts. They absolutely handled them, and I could just see that happening here. But at the same time, I will not count Denver out, and that's why I say it goes to 7. But I think the Lakers pull this one off. So that leaves a Western Conference Finals of OKC versus LA, which is kind of what I want. I think this would be really fun. I think this would get a lot of people watching for sure. And I got OKC in 6. I think it would be fun. However, once again, what's the biggest issue for LA? They don't have any depth. They have no depth. It's just not going to work. So I think this is the Wiggins series. I think Wiggins averages 20 the series. I think he absolutely takes over and proves that he's just simply the game-changing player that the series needed. And yeah, I can see, I can already picture it. Game 6, Aaron Wiggins 30 ball. I see it. It's right there
in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I'll get on to my awards real quick. The MVP should absolutely go to Shea, but it's going to go to Jokic. I am going to be sad because Shea deserves it, but I really think the media is just going to push this narrative that Nikola Jokic should get the three-peat. I think that they've been dying to give him this. He's averaging this triple-double. He's breaking records. We're a smaller market. No, the media hates us. They're just not going to give it to him. I pray that I'm wrong because Shea deserves it. In every facet of the award, Shea deserves it. But I do think the media ends up bailing out. That's what they do. They always pick the MVP that they think fits the narrative the best. It's going to be Jokic. 6th man, Peyton Pritchard. Dude is insane. I mean, the guy is incredible. He's the perfect guy off the bench that you would want other than Aaron Wiggins. Just a player that I would love to have on a team. Just incredible player. I think it was Joe who said it. This Boston team would not be as good as they are without him. And that's an underrated aspect of the team. Ask any Celtics fan, they would tell you that. DPOY, I'm going to agree with Jack here. Dyson Daniels. You don't just average 3 steals a game and not win DPOY. And if you do, it's a joke of an award. 3 steals per game is outrageous. He's leading in total steals by like 50 steals. I mean, he had more steals before the All-Star game than the leading person in steals had last season. That is ridiculous. Now, I do agree with Joe. This is a big man award, and they're going to try to give it to a big man. But if Dyson ends the season averaging over 3 steals a game, I don't think you can ignore that. Most improved, I got Norman Powell. I like the point you made, Joe, that he has been in the league longer, and that's why they might give it a Cade. I could see this Norman Powell most improved being like similar to kind of like Lou Will's runs with pulling off those. I mean, I just think the way he's stepped up for this team and become their scorer when they needed it. I mean, he's a better scorer than Harden. He has been this season. I mean, not by the talent, but the stats. He's been the scorer they need. So I think I think he deserves to earn that one. So I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say my rookie of the year here, Stephon Castle. I love Stephon Castle. I think he's an incredible player. I really hope he wins it. I do feel really bad for just kind of anybody who was hoping for a good rookie draft class this year, because unfortunately this was just not a great year for rookies in general. But I think Stephon is going to be an all-star someday. And then coach of the year, this is definitely not going to happen, but I don't know. In my head, it makes sense. I got JJ Redick. In this scenario where the Lakers jump to the 3 seed, I see every opportunity where they have this
Not
great end of the
coaching.
season. They hit the
Not
3.
coaching.
Oh no! Just listen. I see every scenario where once again the media, the NBA takes over here, and why would they not give it to this brand new coach with LA's Lakers led by LeBron
ridiculous.
James?
Terrific.
I think you're right there. If they could push to the 3rd seed, they could definitely give it to JJ.
If they push to the 3rd seed, I guarantee you he's in at least the top 5, at least mentioned in the top 5. And I can see a world where the NBA gives it to him. So while it's probably going to be Atkinson and he deserves it, I see in this scenario where I have the Lakers getting to the 3 seed, I think they go JJ Redick. But yeah, I'll leave it there for Landon.
Okay, I'm going to start bigger picture. This is probably the most stacked conference I've seen in my lifetime, so I don't see a single sweep happening. And moving into the most March Madness-ish part of the tournament, or part of the playoffs, start with the play-in tournament. So in the 9-10 or in the 7-8 matchup, I have the Clippers at the 7 seed and the Rockets at the 8 seed, with the Clippers winning just because they have more experience. Simple enough. And then with the 9-10 game, I've got the Mavericks and the Suns. I think the Suns see a drought in seeding position this year just because of injuries, but they'll have no issue with the Suns. I think that 10 seed's just kind of a toss-up. You could really put anyone there. So that means the Mavericks would play the loser of the 7 and 8 game, which would be the Rockets, and Mavericks would have no trouble there. Which leads us into the first round with a Thunder and Mavericks rematch off rip. And I'm taking the Thunder in 6 this year because we made the best moves we could have made this offseason by getting Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso, which is the perfect counter against that Mavericks roster. And I think their roster is worse now. So I think that series should be a winnable series for the Thunder. Moving into the 4-5, I've got the Warriors at the 4 seed and the Wolves at the 5 seed. I think that would be a competitive series. I think the Wolves will give them everything they have and give them a run for their money. But at the end of the day, the Warriors have Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry, still 2 of the better players in this league. So give me the Warriors in 7. At the 2 and 7 matchup, I've got the Nuggets finishing the season with the 2 seed. Hard for a team like the Nuggets with Jokic not to have a good regular season record. And then I have the Clippers at the 7 seed. But I don't see the Clippers hype. I mean, the Clippers are cursed straight up in the playoffs. It never goes well for them. So give me the Nuggets in 5. And then I have the Lakers finishing with the 3 seed with the addition of Luka. That's just instantly more wins. And the Grizzlies at the 6 seed. But I think the Grizzlies are a good regular season team, don't get me wrong. But I don't think they're meant for the playoffs. So give me the Lakers in 5. Ja will have one big game, and that will be their win. Into the second round, I have the Thunder and the Warriors. I think the Thunder just beat them solely off of depth. I don't think the Warriors have the depth to compete with the Thunder, which means the Thunder will win that series in 6 games because you can't expect a big game from Curry, and you can also expect a big game from Jimmy Butler, but that won't be enough for them to win the series in the end. And then on the other side, the NBA would love these matchups because we have Jokic versus LeBron. We have the Nuggets at the 2 seed and the Lakers at the 3 seed playing each other. I think it would be a super competitive series that comes down to the wire. But I think the Lakers will, with Luka, it gets them over the hump, and they move on to the Western Conference Finals, which means we have the ultimate prove-it matchup for the Thunder. We have the Thunder and the Lakers. And I think the Thunder win that series in 6 games because, I mean, you have to imagine if they make it to the Western Conference, they're just going to be riding off of their momentum, and they'll be playing their best basketball. So at the end of the day, it's going to be the Thunder in the finals. Moving on to the season awards, I think the MVP raises the question. Does the NBA take defense into consideration? Jokic is a nothing on defense. Shea is a something on defense. Shea will give you steals, blocks, and cover one of the other team's best scorers. Jokic, not so much. Give me Shea to win that MVP if it's a serious award. Six man, I don't know if Naz Reid is eligible to win the award, but if he is eligible to win the award, that's who you give it to. He's probably 6'9", 6'10", can do almost anything on the basketball court. He's a special player, and I think he has a bright future in this league. He'll be an all-star eventually if he gets himself in the right position. Defensive Player of the Year, like I have been preaching, it's a big man award, and I don't see that changing. I would love for Dyson Daniels to get it because he's a great defender, but I think it goes to Jaren Jackson Jr. just because of the bias towards big men. Most improved, I think you almost have to give it to Cade Cunningham. The jump he's taken this season, he's getting buckets, getting steals, getting rebounds, getting blocks. He's doing it all for the Pistons. So I think you have to give it to him there. Coach of the Year, if you told me before this season that the Cavaliers would be the number one seed in the Eastern Conference as of now and probably finish the season as the number one seed in the East, I wouldn't believe you. So I think you almost have to give it to him because it's not only that they have talent, there's some very solid coaching from Kenny Atkinson over there in Cleveland. And then Rookie of the Year, a little bit of a hot take here. Give me Khalil Ware. I think he'll be a huge part of the Heat's success and help propel them to the playoffs. I mean, he's pretty. I thought he would come into the league as a project player and be like a 3-4 year project, but he's kind of just been a playable player from the jump, and he's been an impactful player for them. So that rounds out my list for the season awards.
Kind of just seems like that happens to Miami every time. Even if it's a project player, he'll be ready by either year 1 or year 2. So
yeah, they have a really good developmental staff over there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he continues to develop. All right, Joey, let's hear it.
Oh, I don't see the standings moving a whole lot from here on out. I mean, I think they'll shift around a little bit, but as of right now, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and name off my what my think the seeding would be, and I think 1, OKC's got it. There's so many games ahead. 2, I'm taking Grizzlies. 3, Nuggets. 4, Lakers. 5, Rockets. 6, Clippers. 7 is gonna be the Timberwolves. 8, Warriors. 9, Mavericks. And the 10 seed, I'm taking the Trailblazers to come and take that 10 seed because they've been playing so well over the last. They were 13-28, and now I think they're 26-32 or something like that. They've gone on like a 13-3 run. I think they'll come in and swipe that. So in the play-in, we got the Mavericks and Trailblazers. Mavericks, even though the Trailblazers are doing good, I think Mavericks win that. You got Warriors and Timberwolves. Warriors win that. I think they're just more playoff ready. You know what Curry? We know what Curry can do, and plus Jimmy Butler, could never write him off. And then so Timberwolves versus Mavericks. I think Timberwolves handle that pretty easy. They got the defensive big man and Gobert, and just so many weapons in general. I think the Mavericks won't make the full playoffs. So starting at the first one, we got OKC
Such a
and
bad
Warriors.
take. Such a bad take. Come on, man.
Hey, I don't think. Well, what can I say? What can I say? So first seed. Oh, I switched up. My bad. First seed, Warriors and OKC, and I think Warriors win that 6-2. I mean, Butler. I know Butler's going to be a problem, but we got so many defensive players. This is not going to matter in my opinion. Then we got 4 and 5 seed Lakers versus Rockets. I'm taking the Lakers over the Rockets any day of the week. Rockets are a good team, but they're very inconsistent. Guys like Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, they're just too inconsistent. Let's 2 and 7 Grizzlies and Timberwolves. I think the Grizzlies are a stacked team. They got Jaren Jackson, probably going to be the defensive player of the year. John Morant, as long as he doesn't do any tomfoolery, and Desmond Bain, who's just insane to me. So I think Grizzlies take that.
Desmond Bain? It's unserious.
Bro, you know who Desmond Bain is? He's averaging like 20. Come on. No ball knowledge,
Yeah,
man. Come on.
yeah.
He's
Respect
averaging like
Desmond Bain. He's good.
All
yeah.
right, sorry for the stray. Move on.
Ooh. This kid don't know. Maybe go respect Desmond Bain. Little short guy. Okay, we got Nuggets and Clippers on the last one, and Nuggets win that. I like the Clippers. I don't agree with some of you guys putting the Clippers so low as the play-in and stuff. They've gotten really they're a higher seed or decent seed. Plus, they got Kawhi back. I see him staying up there. They don't got a bad team with Kawhi and Norman Powell and James Harden, and Norman Powell playing as good as he is. So I don't think they'll beat the Nuggets. All right, now Lakers and OKC, and that's just gonna be a ref fest and a media fest because the biggest market, top three biggest market in the league versus a small market team like that. But OKC's gonna overcome that and win that series. I think it'll go to 7, to be completely honest, and the OKC will win it. Then we got Grizzlies and Nuggets. Now that's going to be a crazy series. I think that Jokic versus Jaren Jackson Jr. will be good. I think he's going to be primary defender most likely, but they also got Edie, however you say his name, and I think he will help a lot. Jamal Murray playoffs is insane, but I got the Grizzlies winning that 4-2. Then OKC versus the Grizzlies in the Western Conference Finals. I think it's going to be a crazy matchup. I think it's going to go to 7, but I think the Grizzlies will get it. The Grizzlies are going to beat the Thunder in the Western Conference
Bro.
Finals because of
Find
their
a new team.
power. Y'all keep saying, hey, the Grizzlies, man, they ain't got no star power. They can't keep up with us.
Yeah, they
Multiple of
don't.
y'all
They
said
have
that.
John Morant and a bunch of
John Morant,
above average
Defensive
players.
Player of the Year candidate, already won a Defensive Player of the Year. Zach Edey, a good-looking rookie. Desmond Bain averaging 20 points. You cannot write them off. You cannot write them off. And if you do, you're a fool. All right, on to
Yep.
the
I'll come
awards.
back to this when they're gone after the first round. But okay,
We'll
keep
see.
moving.
We'll see. I said depending on if Jaw and his tomfoolery. If Jaw and his tomfoolery, this is void, by the way. If he points a laser at one of our players or, whatever he wants to do or, thinks he's tough or wears a shiesty. I don't know what he does, but whatever he wants to do, that tomfoolery, man, get him out of here. We'll beat him. But all right. So awards, I think that Detroit team's gonna sweep half the awards with JD Bickerstaff winning Coach of the Year, Cade Cunningham winning Most Improved Player, and Beasley winning the Sixth Man of the Year. What we've seen from that team is absolutely insane. I understand what you're saying with the Cavs thing, but which is more believable versus unbelievable? A 6-7 seed or whatever the Cavs were going to first, or the worst team of all time, losing the most games of all time, going all the way up to potentially a top 4 seed,
All
as
right.
I see
We
it.
actually have a serious take here for once. I like it.
Yeah. And so we're going Beasley too. Y'all say Pritchard. I get Pritchard's a really good player, but on that star team, he's not doing all that. Let's be honest. I mean, how inflated are those stats because the starters run up the score or whatever? You got to think of that. I think Beasley goes out there every night. He'll drop a random 7 for 8 from the three and drop 20 something points like it's nothing. Some games he has his 2-point games about every 1 in 5 games, but he's also providing a really, really good shooting skill level off the bench. He's just insane. Like I said, with the coaching thing already. Then we got Cade, who I think was going to have a good fight with Norman Powell, in my opinion, on that most improved player. I think Cade gets it just because the stigma around they were the worst team of all time, and now I think they're 6th seed right now, and they've won 8 games in a row. They could win more. They can be a top 4 seed. If they get that top 4 seed, I think all 3 of those are complete lock, no matter what. We'll go on to our rookie of the year, and Wizards just traded Kuzma. Give me Alexander Sarr. He's going to step up a little bit. I think his stats improve a little bit. He's not an instant player. He wasn't great at the beginning of the season,
Give
but
it 4 years, but right now he's
he's
sorry. He is
yeah,
sorry.
he has not been as good as he should be, especially at the beginning of the
Sorry.
season.
I'm
The
sorry.
second now, after about 30 games of the season, he has improved quite a bit. And everybody says he's going to be a long-term player, but I like that. I like Alexander Sarr. I think he's going to really step it up. Who I think it should go to, who's is not going to is Jared McCain. And I don't even think that would be close if he didn't get injured. I don't think it would even be a close debate because that man is dropping multiple 30-point games.
Honestly, that's a really good poll. I didn't even think about him because he's been injured for so long, but
But he's not eligible, sadly, because I think he's got to play the 65 games. MVP, it's really hard to tell because right now you see all over the media is saying SGA, the TV media. I'm talking about certain media like Shaq. The big time names in the media are saying Shea. They said Shea last year. All the people on media, Stephen A. Smith, Shaq, Shannon Sharp, all these different people were saying Shea last year. People that said, I voted Shea. Kendrick Perkins, I voted Shea. They have a vote and they say, I voted Shea. But no matter what, it didn't matter in the end because even though all the TV guys had the vote and they voted Shea, somehow it wasn't really that close. Somehow Jokic took it. And it's those whoever the other voters are that are not part of the media that are voting Jokic year after year. And those, I think this year, like one of you, whoever mentioned the defensive thing, I 100% agree with it. Shea's got the 5th best odds to win Defensive Player of the Year, and they're completely overlooking that. It makes zero sense whatsoever. Why are you overlooking something like that? 5th best odds? He's got, I think, close odds to Dyson Daniels, who's averaging 3 steals a game. Look at Shea Stocks. It's not close. Not to mention, he still has that good of odds being on a team who has 3 defenders in those top 10 odds or top 7. I'm pretty sure. I think Dort's around the 3rd or 4th best odds. Shea's around 5th, and I don't know if it's Wallace or Caruso or somebody or J Dub. Somebody's right behind them too, but they're all up there at once. That's really impressive, and
That's a great
that's
point.
just my takes on all that.
That's a really good point, Joey. Absolutely. Stories, you think that Jokic will get it then? Is that where you're going with that?
No, I'd say that's the problem, man. You cannot something like this you can't determine because just like y'all were talking about with the JJ Redick thing, winning Coach of the Year, just because the NBA wants to push that narrative, and I think that was a good point too. But it's really hard to say. I say if Shea steps up a little bit more and goes back when he was getting a few 50-point games. I say if he puts up 3 more 40-point games, it's over. Like it's dead over. Now, if he continues this, Chet is coming back. Chet is now back, and he's not been as good because he's got to share more minutes, which is understandable. Doesn't mean he shouldn't deserve it.
What about LeBron? Do you think he's part of the race?
All right, buddy. All right. I'm not that delusional, but I'm just saying with Chet back, Shea's not going like crazy like he was.
Right.
So I think if Chet comes back and Shea's putting up more of these games where he doesn't have to play the 4th quarter, he's averaging 25 the last few games, then they'll start leaning back towards Jokic, even though it's not Shea's fault. It's BTA every single game and they're just blowing him out and he gets to sit down all the time.
Yep.
I mean, Shea sits down 4th quarters because it's a blowout. Jokic does because he's fat. So we'll see at the end of the season what happens. I'm rooting for Shea. Media's dyslexic or whatever. That's not even the right word, but media might give it to Jokic.
All right, Seth, you're up.
I'll take it over from here, guys. So I'm
Hard
going
to follow that one up.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, you guys will love the stuff that I have cooked up. But seeding wise, it's going to be current seedings, but I'll still go over it real quick. 1st seed Thunder, 2nd seed Grizzlies, 3rd seed Nuggets, 4th seed Rockets, 5th seed Lakers, 6th seed Clippers, 7th seed Wolves, and 8th seed Golden State Warriors, 9th seed the Mavericks, and 10th seed is going to be the Kings. It's pretty much what the playoff picture is looking like right now. As far as the play-in, it's going to be Golden State Warriors at the 8th seed versus the Wolves at the 7th seed. And I think the Wolves will beat the Warriors in that one. And then it'll be Mavs versus Kings. And the winner of that one will end up losing to the Golden State Warriors. I'm assuming Mavericks would win that Kings versus the Kings. And Steph Curry is going to be too much against the Mavericks. So I don't even have the Mavericks making the playoffs, which is going to be catastrophic. Like, it's going to be crazy for them if that happens. For the first round, Thunder versus Wolves, I got the OKC Thunder in 6 games. We just have way more depth. way more defensive capabilities. I do feel like they can take 2 games off of us, just having an Anthony Edwards and mainly healthy roster. Like they're pretty deep, but I don't think it goes more than 6 games there. And then Grizzlies versus the Golden State Warriors. I think this is going to be upset alert right here. I have Stephen Curry beating them in 7 games. I saw you guys really underrating the Grizzlies, to be honest. And I kind of agree with Joey, maybe not to the extent that he took it, but I think the Grizzlies are definitely an underrated roster. Like they're fantastic. They got both their 2 elite star players playing under 30 minutes per game. So once they step that up into the playoffs, I feel like they're still going to give a big run against whoever they're playing in the first round. So let's go over the next matchup, which is the Nuggets versus Clippers. And I got Jokic pretty much destroying the Clippers in 5 games. I don't think any teams can really sweep, but I feel like 5 games is pretty much a gentleman's sweep right there. With Kawhi back, I feel like they can still maybe snatch 1 game in there. I got Rockets versus Lakers after that. And I think the Lakers beat the Rockets in 6 games. I mean, Luka, LeBron, that's just way too much to handle, too much experience. They just can do it all between just the 2 of them, and they don't really have that much size when it comes to the Rockets that I can think of. So I feel like the Lakers will definitely get by on that. For the second round series, of course, Thunder versus Golden State Warriors. I got the Thunder winning in 6 games. We have too much youth. I think that's the big difference maker. Like, one series I can see an upset from the Golden State Warriors. They can't do it again. They're just going to be really winded for how old each of the stars are. And I think just how young we are, we're going to be running them off the court. Nuggets versus Lakers would be the other series. And I got Jokic beating LeBron again in 6 games. And mainly the reasoning behind that is chemistry. People underrate, like you can't just build a roster, halfway through the season and think you're going to win a lot. Maybe you'll get out of the first round. You're probably not going to get out like the second round or, go to the Western Finals or anything like that. So great addition of Luka, but I think Jokic and the team chemistry still takes it there. And for the West Finals, of course, we have the Nuggets versus the first seed Thunder. And I have the Oklahoma City Thunder winning in 7 games here. It's going to be just a grit and grind type of series. But the main 3 factors that I wrote down for us is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring like 35, 36 points per game. We've got way more depth than the Nuggets. And the final point is going to be the defensive capabilities of Chet. So I think he's going to be fantastic for us against Jokic. And just a little bonus teaser here. I would have the Thunder beating the Cavaliers in the finals in 6 games. Just wanted to add that in there. So as far as my, picks for the awards, Rookie of the Year, I got Jalen Wells. Like he's really just impressed me. He's just a different name than like a Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle's super impressive, like a 6'6" guard. He's of course going to be an all-star, but Jalen Wells, for the amount of depth that the Grizzlies has, like he deserves, recognition. And I feel like, I should shout him out in this award picks. And then for MVP, I got Shai. He's averaging 32 points per game. First seeded out west. It's just kind of obvious at this point. Best player, best team. That's usually how they give the awards. And I assume the voters will vote similarly. It may be closer than people think in terms of the voting by the end of the year, with kind of how things are looking with Chet coming back and Shai averaging a little bit less. But I think we'll still be like plus 9 to 10 games in the win column. So we'll be fine there. For MIP, I got Cade. He's dropping like 25 plus points per game. I mean, that's ridiculous from, how bad they were in terms of seeding. And I think a lot of these awards are narrative based. So the narrative for Cade is like, he's just winning way more games on much more points per game. So he'll get that one. Peyton Pritchard, everyone kind of has really, said everything that you can really say about him for 6-man. For DPOY, I got JJ for not JJ Redick, Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Grizzlies as well. That's another narrative-based award. Like he's a big man. Big men win DPOYs. It's just that simple. I don't see that changing anytime soon unless they added like a guard DPOY, and they should probably do that. And then for Coach of the Year, I don't think I heard this name mentioned, but it should be Kenny Atkinson. I thought that was pretty obvious for him getting it to the first seed. You said that as well, Joe. That's fantastic. Yeah, so that's kind of my picks. I hope you guys enjoy.
I said it too.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, so we did have some Kenny Atkinson picks.
Yeah, there we go for sure. Joe, you want to add something?
Yeah, so before we wrap up here, I thought this was great. A lot of different looks. Everyone here loves the same team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, but everyone has different outlooks on the rest of the NBA teams, Western Conference teams especially. So really cool to see. I do just want to say to the fans watching, check out our Instagram. We're having a lot of interactive stuff going on. We want to see your guys' predictions for both the East and the West, and maybe we'll get you on a live video or something that we're thinking about doing. So yeah,
absolutely. And I'm sure at some point down the road in an episode, we'll go ahead and hit that East side as well, so we can actually get a full playoff picture. Talk about obviously we all think OKC is going to make the finals, so we can also discuss that kind of thing. Discuss how many games they'd win and how that would go and who they'd play. So Joey, you want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, if you have a different belief or think something different about what we said, put it in the comments. And then if you have a specific thing you want to speak to one of us about in particular, screenshot that comment and DM one of us directly, and we'll have a nice little fun debate if you want. I'm sure all of us are completely down for that, just for the fun of it. As long as you're respectful, we'll be respectful to you. Just screenshot your comment so we can get a little bit of traction on the video, send it to us, and we'll talk to you all day.
awesome.
I'm going to directly translate that. Joey wants all of the smoke.
Yeah,
100%, 100%.
No, he's absolutely right though.
He thinks Ja Morant's going to go to the finals, and he acts like him too.
Interesting.
All right.
I meant delusional, not dyslexic. I want to say that. I don't know why I said
dyslexic was funnier.
I meant delusional.
No, but for real though, Joey's absolutely right. If you guys disagree, definitely let us know, because we at the end of the day, we're just fans. We like debating. We like talking. Like, it's not like just because your opinion's different, you're an idiot and you're wrong. Like, that's not how that works. Obviously, we could be just as wrong. We'll all see here in the next few months. So, but yeah, for sure, let us know in the comments what you guys thought of the video itself, and as well as any of your own opinions. So if anybody wants to add anything else before we wrap up.
Yeah, I'll add something.
Yeah, let's hear it, Joe.
Yeah, Thunder up, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.